Welcome to the Relax into Love podcast, the place for spiritual, ambitious women to awaken to divine connection within themselves and their partner and manifest their most desired relationship with joy and ease. I'm Teal Elizabeth, your host, a spiritual love and relationship coach trained in the principles of feminine energy, NLP, and deep subconscious reprogramming. And through this podcast, it is my desire to inspire you on all things dating, relationships, and self-love. Now, on to the show. Hello, ladies. Hello. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. I want to jump on here and talk about another topic. I'm coming up with all sorts of juicy topics to just really go real, go live on, and help you to continue to uncover different layers and parts about yourself so that you can really heal and become a more authentic version of yourself for relationships. And today's topical conversation, I want to talk about not feeling safe to feel authentic and be your true self in relationships. This is a really beautiful topic to unpack and uncover why it is that we as women don't feel comfortable allowing ourselves to just be our authentic self in relationships, right? And this is something that a lot of women come to me and talk about. And as we have this conversation, I really want you to be able to engage and comment and message and let me know what's coming up for you, what's really hitting home and striking home for you. I know for me, and I'm just going to start with a little bit of a personal story for myself. For most of my life, I have been taught, right, and conditioned to do all the things, to go to school, to get good grades, to get the good career, to do all the things that on the surface level seem like success. And I can imagine many of you probably feel the same way. And what I realized after going through that for so long was that the more that I was trying to achieve on the external, the less I was being connected to myself on the internal. I'm going to say that again. The more I was trying to live and achieve in success of the standards of success on the external, the more disconnected I was becoming from the internal. And I actually was just having a realization about this today as I was, speaking with someone that I'm working with and coaching through some experiences for myself and realizing that so much of this journey of us feeling safe to be in a relationship is so coordinated with the amount of safety that we feel to be with ourselves. Okay? So when women come to me and say, you know what, I just don't feel like I can be myself in a relationship, what I really hear when people say that is that there is another layer to that of not feeling safe to be ourself within ourself, right? And this has happened for me many times where, you get into relationships in those early days, you think you want something, you go after it, you achieve it, you grab it, you get this guy that seems amazing on the surface, right? But then he starts doing things that don't feel good to you. So there's two ways that we can approach that moving forward. We can either try and lean forward and fix it and go after him and fit ourselves into the way that he's acting to try and make that work, right? So if he's being hot and cold, then instead of honoring what you need, you just go into, okay, well, I don't need him and I'll just act distant and I'm going to play the games and try and be in that hot and cold back and forth dance, which just feels horrible, right? Or we can take the approach of honoring ourselves and coming back home to our authenticity and what our needs are and what feels like the right connection for us. And sometimes that means having to let go of the external person or situation and really coming back home to getting back in alignment with ourselves. And for many clients that I've worked with, this is really the beautiful shift that gets to happen, is taking that pause and that break of recognizing, I don't want to live my life for other people, right? I don't want to continue to live my relationships trying to please somebody else and their version of what they think I need to be, right? I'm tired of trying to live up to an expectation or an identity of the type of woman that I think I need to be and the type of relationship that I think is healthy and right, when really all you need to do is come back home to the truth of what really feels right to you. And I don't think that many women give themselves enough credit for what this really allows us to do. when we connect back into that inner guidance system, when we really check in with our own hearts and say yes or no, right? This does not feel good. This does not feel right. I don't want to be in this anymore. And moving through that fear of recognizing that, okay, maybe that means that this isn't the right person for me. Right? There's so many layers to unpack here, and I know I'm totally just kind of going on a riff today, but I was just really, really connecting into this place of connecting back to our authenticity and why it is that we don't feel safe to be our authentic self in relationships. And it comes back down to, do you trust yourself enough? Do you honor yourself enough to put your needs and your feelings over the needs and feelings of somebody else? Whoo, I'm getting all tingly inside, right? So I want you to just really think about this. When you get into relationships and you notice yourself starting to feel tight, or things, you start closing a little bit, right? Or you notice things aren't really progressing in the ways that feel good to you. Maybe he's not showing up. Maybe he's not giving you the affection or the attention or the verbal, commitments that you're looking for. Are you letting that be the dictator of how things continue to go? Or are you taking the second to pull back and recognize, hold on, wait a second, something within me doesn't feel right. I need to adjust, right? I need to make a shift and get recentered to myself. And that's really what I'm here to do with each of you, is to help you to click back into alignment, right? Like a chiropractor for your soul. Click back into alignment with making sure that you are feeling aligned in this relationship. Because if you are trying to move into or continue a relationship that does not feel in alignment with your highest self, you are dishonoring you. And you are not allowing yourself to be authentic. And you're not trusting yourself to really be everything that you get to be in the relationship. Right? If we're in a relationship that is out of alignment, and we know when it feels out of alignment, when we're in that place of feeling out of alignment, we are not our highest vibration. We are not our highest, fullest expression of ourselves. And that is doing a disservice to the person that we're with. If they're only seeing the shell of you or a false side of you or just one side of you, they're not really getting to see the true version of who you really are and the gift that you are to the world and to them. Right? So it is so imperative that we are always coming back home to honoring our authenticity, honoring, making sure that we are feeling good in that relationship. And if we're not feeling good in that relationship, taking that second to step back and zoom out and understand what's not working. And then from there, moving into a place of trusting yourself, that feeling of out of alignment is more important than the man in front of you, right? Oof, I know. Trusting that your feeling of being out of alignment is more important than this man in front of you. Even if that means that trusting your gut instinct may mean that this man may not be the right man for you. And I know that that can be so hard because our heart gets attached and we want to stick around and we want to make it work. And then our mind kicks in, right? When we don't trust ourselves, our mind kicks in and starts coming in to try and rationalize all the reasons why we should stay in the relationship. Or we go to our friends and we try and get outside opinions. And once again, we are putting more value on the external than we are on our internal. But the internal is the only guidance system that we need. The internal is the only thing that is ever going to actually let us know if we are on the right track or not. Okay? Yeah, really, really powerful discussion here. I'm glad I'm hearing this. Hi, Anita. Good to see you. Lee saying the memories of trauma still sit in my body. So how do you connect with the body to bring it into realignment? Oh, beautiful question, Lee. Beautiful, beautiful question. Yeah, this is something that may need a little bit of intentional time and healing, right? And sometimes this may be really good to even go to a massage therapist or to an energy healer or to an acupuncturist, someone that can actually, who works with the body and can help move out some of those painful experiences, because you're 100% right. The memories of trauma do lodge themselves in the body and they do sit in the body. and giving yourself that really intentional space of recognizing what that trauma is and moving through that with someone who can actually help clear through that energy is going to be really, really healing and helpful so that you don't carry that into your next relationship. And there's a lot of really beautiful meditations that can help you to really kind of clear through and cleanse out just the soul pain, right? That also may still be carried in there. And that's what I really resonate with and hit home with clients, is helping them move through some of those soul pain experiences and cleansing that out. But I would say if you're really feeling it in the body, definitely work with a body healer to help move that energy through. It's really important. Hi, Nivi. Good to see you on here as well. Lovely, lovely seeing you all ladies on here. Yeah, so this is just the take-home message for today, right? Is I wrote it down. I can't be my authentic self in relationships. And if you are really feeling that and you're resonating with that and you're recognizing this is how I've been showing up, this is what I'm attracting, I feel like my relationships are surface level, or I feel like I can't really deepen into that feeling within myself of feeling fully expressed like I do with my family or with good girlfriends, right? Then this is really an opportunity for you to take some time to really explore for yourself, why is it that I don't feel comfortable to be myself, right? What triggers are coming up around men that make me feel unsafe or uncomfortable to be myself? Or why is it that I don't feel like I can trust myself to be my authentic self? Because I'm going to tell you another thing, ladies. We are the only ones that can give ourselves permission to fully be our authentic self. No one's going to come to you and be like, okay, today's the day, you get to be your authentic self today, right? We have to be the ones that choose that, to step into that power and say, you know what? I know I am ready for this. I don't need to hold back. I don't need to please anybody else. I don't need to live my life for anyone else. I get to live my life for me. And I know what I want, and I know who I am, and I know what makes me happy and what makes me come alive, and I'm tired of dimming that shine, right? But there's also another thing with that. Maybe you don't even know what that authentic self really looks like. And if you don't know what that authentic self looks like, then that is even underneath it even more, right? So many beautiful layers here. Before we come into relationship with a partner, we have to make sure that we are coming into relationship with ourself and building up that beautiful whole sense of center in ourselves, right? To make sure that we are feeling grounded and secure and true and in alignment with our highest self. And only then can we really truly feel like we can bring in somebody else into the picture. Because here's what happens. If we do not take that time to actually really connect into ourself and feel fully whole in who we are, and then we go out and we're like this half version of ourselves, and we go out and we try and attract another person to bring them in because we're lonely or disconnected, right? And looking for connection. If we try and seek that in somebody else, we are doing ourselves a disservice. We are attracting in someone else who is naturally also a half sphere. And guess what? What comes when we attract two half spheres together? It becomes codependency. Codependency, codependency, codependency. And this is not the level of a healthy relationship, as I know you all know, right? But it's so easy to fall into codependent relationships when we are looking for that connection and seeking that love. And what I'm here to say is, before we can even bring in the possibility of a new partner, we have to make sure that we are so fully aligned in who we are and feeling completely whole as our own sphere. And from that space, then we can attract in another partner, and that partner also is a whole sphere because he is matching vibrationally the way that you are showing up, right? So if you're showing up as a whole sphere, then you're going to be attracting somebody else who's also a whole sphere. And from there, you get to come together and create the third sphere of partnership, that I like to call it. The third sphere of partnership, which is not a connection amalgamation of the two of you. It is something even higher, something even bigger than what each of you could bring to the table individually, right? But it has to stand on those two pillars those two pillars of strength within individual, like the individuals of each of you, before you can come into partnership with somebody else. Oh my God, this is such a beautiful conversation that's coming through, isn't it? I'm loving all the comments here. Yes. Anita says, I think my past made me cling on to men that were not worthy. I just go from one relationship, just talking to another with the same pattern. They make me feel unworthy, and they leave just as quick as they turned up. Absolutely. Beautiful, Anita. I'm glad that you're having this realization. This is so, so important to have this recognition. Oh, I'm just making up words now. You get it, though. Yeah, we have to make sure that we are recognizing, am I actually a whole sphere? Or are there parts of myself that are dimmed? Are there parts of myself that are lacking, or there's holes, right? Holes that need to be filled, not by a man. And that sounds like what you're recognizing. You've been trying to fill those holes with men, but then it's just filling your own deeper sense of unworthiness. So until you can get to the deeper understanding and heal those wounds within yourself of not feeling worthy, then you're not going to be able to attract any other different kinds of men, right? And I know this from experience, because this is something that just is it's so common for so many women. So Anita, you're not alone in this. It is so, so common, this feeling of feeling unworthy, not feeling good enough, right? And this can stem from so many different ways, but it's really important to make sure that you're aware of it and addressing it and healing it, right? And that's where I'm here. I'm here if you need me to help guide you through this. And I have one-on-one support to really go into that deeper soul work and do that deeper cleansing to clear through those deep beliefs. And I have this beautiful, beautiful container with my sisterhood of the Attraction Academy to really, once you do feel whole and complete in yourself, really being able to step into that place of empowered relationships and attracting from a much more vibrant, radiant, feminine goddess essence, right? These are really the two pillars that I love sharing and teaching on. The self-love, the self-confidence, the self-worthiness that creates that whole sphere within ourselves, and then the feminine essence from a place of strength, from that inner place of knowing and authenticity of, I get to be true to me. I know what I want. I know what I need. I know what I deserve, right? And so you don't even attract anyone on these lower vibration levels. You get to really step into that feminine goddess essence. Whereas one of the women I was working with says, she was like, I don't want to be a goddess. I want to be an empress essence, right? And from that place, everything is elevated. Everything is elevated. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Nivi says, for me, I start taking up the guy's energy and accept anything mediocre. There has been a similar pattern of men coming into my life, and I end up believing this is the highest I can get from a man, and makes me feel like I should settle for this. Really good to recognize, Nivi. Really, really good to recognize. So I guess my question for you in this case here is, why do you feel that? I want to read through your question again. Yeah, my question for you would be, why is it that you feel that this is all that you can get for a man? Why do you feel that you need to settle, right? And take some time to journal on this. Why is it that you find yourself soaking in that guy's energy and getting pulled into that energy? How do you pull back your energy in that moment so that you can reground into your center and reground into your strength so that you're not sucked in, right? Because it's so important to have that strength so that you're not getting into that codependency and not losing your power. Yes, it is so important to realize and take my power back. Absolutely, absolutely, Nivi. I love it. I love it. Spence just got home with the groceries and it's getting loud. I'm going to wrap it up for today, but really beautiful discussion. Wanted to come on here. Thank you, ladies, for joining on and for reflecting, and I look forward to continuing these conversations. Also going to just make a little announcement here at the end that I'm opening up the next version of the Attraction Academy for any of you who are feeling that you do have that grounded sense of self. It's so loud. Can you be quiet for just 1 second, darling? Spence, could you be quiet for 1 second, please? Thank you, darling. For any of you who are feeling like you do want to explore this deeper and you want to be a part of this beautiful sisterhood that I have, I am opening up the Autumn Fall Attraction Academy. This is invite only, and it will be something that you have to apply for. I know Nivi has gone through it and has had an incredible experience. Lee has gone through it, hasn't had an incredible experience with it. And this is something where we really deepen into those principles of feminine energy and connecting into that strong vulnerability so that you can attract that high value, high caliber king and partner that you want. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can message me here and we can set up a time to chat and see if that's the right fit for you. Lee says, strength plus heart connection. Absolutely. It is such a beautiful, beautiful blend, right? Strength and heart connection. So amazing, ladies. Thank you for this conversation. I'll talk with you soon. Thanks for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Relax into Love podcast. If you are loving what you're hearing, please, I would love for you to write me a heartfelt review. It means so much for the success of this podcast. And honestly, I love hearing what really hits home for your soul. And the feedback, really, I read every piece of it. So definitely pop me a love note and share this with a friend. Share this with someone who you know could really use this message today. And let's keep spreading the love. Until next time.